What's up YouTube? What's going on? It's your boy NeverTech back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about some games, specifically Nintendo Switch games. The games that we're going to be talking about were not that popular on the system, at least some of them were not, and I believe this was due to poor performance mainly, but I truly believe these games are gems on the system. Not all of them are Switch exclusive, only 2 of them, but if your preferred console is the Switch, I suggest you give them a try. And now that the Nintendo Switch 2 is here, I believe a patch is just what they need to get a second win, a second chance at shining. I'm gonna be giving you a summary of these games and telling you what they are about and why I think they're great and they should get a patch. This is gonna be unscripted, so I might forget some things, so forgive me if I do. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. And the first game we're going to be talking about is, for a lot of people, the best game on the Nintendo Switch. Definitely one of the best, top 5 at least. And that game is Astral Chain. This game is a freaking amazing game. It follows the story of 2 brothers. I'm going off memory here, so I can be wrong. But you can play with the brother or the sister. Doesn't matter who you pick. The other one's name is going to be Akira. And you're basically a police officer and just stumble upon a power called a Legion. And when you do that, you go from being a police officer to being part of the special force of those police officers. We are here. The setting is a post-apocalyptic world where humans are living in some place called the Ark. That is like some city in the sky and whatnot. And we are fighting some alien creatures or something like that called the Chimeras. These Chimeras, they invade you from somewhere called the Astral Plane. Yada, yada, yada. You know, let me not bore you with that, because when you play the game, you're going to get to learn all of it. And I suggest that you play it. This game is amazing. Trust me. It is too bad that due to the situation that Platinum Studio finds themselves in, it's going to be very unlikely for us to get a patch. But Nintendo could intervene, right? They could make something happen. And I wish they did, because this game was seriously held back by the frame drops, right? Like, you know, it's an action game, right? Platinum. The sauce is in the combat, and goddamn does it have sauce. So having the game like have frame drops and stutters, right, it just gets in the way of the whole flow of the game. I'm gonna go to some tutorial here. I remember there being a tutorial where you can just fight enemies, so I could showcase the combat of this game, because I'm telling you, it's amazing. And to go back to the Legions for a second, right? The Legions are basically Pokemon, so to speak, right? It's another independent being that you have, and they can fight on their own, or you can tell them to do certain actions, right? You could like kind of like control it, from what I remember. And as they fight on their own, you know, your character that you have also gets to do actions and engage in the combat. And all of this combined, you know, makes for a really, really fun gameplay loop. And not only do you have one Legion, you get multiple Legions, right? And they each have a skill tree. And, you know, the more you unlock, the more the potential of the combat grows, the crazier it gets, the more fun it gets. And I remember that I couldn't get enough of playing this game when it first dropped. And I'm just going to go and showcase the combat real quick. And here we have it. This is the south of the game, right? You can control the Legion independently, as I said. You can use the chain to wrap around an enemy and like bind them. I think you can do it to more than one enemy, but I don't remember the specifics. But I'm gonna show you right now how that's done. I believe you press like left trigger, and then you can use your stick to control the Legion, like so. And then you just bind the enemy, and you can keep attacking them. And possibilities are endless. I am telling you, you know, Platinum Studio is known for crafting amazing combat, and they outdid themselves in this game. This game is a gem. Trust me, we need a patch, Nintendo, please. And if you haven't played this game, you need to do yourself a favor and play it right the hell now. But that's enough from me. Let's just go to the next game, shall we? And the next game I'm going to cover is an RPG by Capcom, and that is Dragon's Dogma. And this is the Dark Arisen version, which means there's some improvements over the original. And I am telling you, when I first played this game, this was one of the most unique experiences that I had ever had in an RPG, ever. It was so incredible. And in this version, perhaps the biggest sin was excluding the original theme song, the intro song that they had, which is called Into Free. And I'm going to just put a little bit of this track, because you need to listen to this, because this shit is amazing. Tell me that show wasn't hype. Just tell me it wasn't hype. I'm telling you, I got no issues with this new theme song. But boy, when you compare it to Into Free, it does not come close. I am sorry if you feel differently. Okay, so let's get into the game. Let's get into the game because I'm talking too much. So this RPG is unique, or was unique for me in many ways at the time. One of the ways this RPG was unique is that there was no hand-holding, no indication of where to go. Well, they give you like a general, like a general indication, but they don't tell you like exactly. So for most quests, you have to figure it out based on dialogue and other context clues, right? Like the game gives you the way for you to immerse yourself in it, explore, and just try stuff out. Another thing this game had is that when it was nighttime, it was like dark, like really dark, like you couldn't see past your nose. I should have like a lamp here. The lamps in this world, they work with oil. And if your lamp runs out of oil outside and you have no way to replace that oil, boy, you are shit out of luck, because that's it. It's game over pretty much. I was in a forest at one point, mild spoilers by the way, and I hear this creature just speaking some weird language that I had never heard in my entire life, right? I don't know what this is, but I want to find out. Lo and behold, it was a freaking dragon. So when I see this dragon, I was low level. And you know what I do? I just start running from my life. And I'm running in that direction like I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just running. And then I stumble upon something else, and it was a goddamn chimera, and I didn't notice there was a chimera there until I literally ran into the goddamn thing, right? Needless to say, right, that was one of those gaming moments that I will always remember, because I'm running from danger, and then I just stumbled upon more danger, and I didn't know what to do. I died. I just died. Another thing that this game had that was very unique ahead of its time was the pawn system. So the pawn systems are NPCs that basically follow your every command. You are what is called the Arisen. So they are bound to you, these pawns, and they basically obey your every command and do what you want. You can kill them. They don't care, right? Well, you can kill them, but they're like immortal. They keep coming back or whatever, because they're stuck in the cycle, as well as the Arisen. Right, and all of these stuffs combined, right? Like the pawn dialogue, because for some people it might get annoying, right? But the pawns will tell you like the enemy weaknesses. They will buff your weapons. Like if you see my weapons are shining here, because I was fighting some skeletons, so they buffed it with holy magic. And you know, you are going through the road, there's a fork on the road, and they will tell you, Master, let's make doubly sure, or Wolf Masters, they attack in pack. Bones, walking bones, all of these lines that were so iconic, and I'll always remember, never forget. I was addicted to the combat here. You can climb on top of different enemies. If you're fighting a big enemy, you can climb them and attack the body part. And you know, needless to say, I played Dragon's Dogma 2, the sequel, a lot. But unfortunately, I don't think the sequel lived up to what the first one set out to do, even though it's still a really good game, right? And this is not about the sequel. This is about the part one, right? The one on the Switch that needs a patch, because, you know, it's another way to play Dragon's Dogma. And all I need is an excuse. I'm always looking for excuses to just fire up Dragon's Dogma. I own it on the Switch. I own it on the PS5. I own it on the PC, right? I just want to go back to Grand Soren, which is what this area is called, and just immerse myself in it and have fun. And I cannot recommend this game enough. One thing I can say is that this game is a little bit more on the difficult side. So if you're not, if you're not used to playing difficult games, I suggest you like watch a video with like 10 tips for like a new player for Dragon's Dogma. And then you should have a grandiose time. This game should be pretty cheap. So if you don't have it, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go get it. Go give it a try. And with that, let's go to the next game. And the next game we're going to be talking about is called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. This game is a Metroidvania. If you don't know what that is, it's a style of game that combines the 2D Metroid style, like Super Metroid, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's how the term came to be, I believe. And this game, I only bought it on the Switch because I thought it was a Switch exclusive, because at this point I was disenchanted with my Switch because I kept having performance issues. But this game looked freaking cool. I love Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I love my 2D Metroid, so I decided to give it a try. And I do not regret it. The game is freaking fantastic. It was extremely addictive. I couldn't get enough. I kept playing this game until like 2, 3 in the morning, even though I had to wake up early the next day. But in the Switch version, there's this part where there's this boss fight. It's like a tower and you're going like in a circle. And in this area, the FPS was dropping to 5. I kid you not. I don't even know how I beat the boss or anything. Like I pulled through somehow. Then later on, I discovered this game was on PC, so I dropped it on the Switch and I started playing it on PC. And, you know, like I 100% of the whole thing, beat it multiple times. But, you know, enough of that. I don't want to make this a video like a negative video of I hate the Switch. I just hate the poor performance. So I believe this game can benefit from a patch, right? Like if there's a game that needs it really bad in terms of like performance, out of all the ones that I mentioned, is this one, because when the performance gets bad, it gets really, really bad. I believe this fight is the last boss fight, right? So I'm going to like not let it play out completely. I'm gonna skip around. You know, I hadn't played this game in forever, so I don't know where I was at this point. So I'm just gonna let it, you know, like play it just for a tad bit so you guys can see like how the combat is and whatnot. And then, you know, we'll keep it moving and go to the next game. I'm using a weapon here that I believe is in honor to the best weapon in Symphony of the Night, which was called a Chrysogram. So there's a similar weapon here, and that's what I'm using, which I believe is the best weapon in this game. That weapon, because it attacks extremely fast. It is difficult to get it to drop, but for me, dropped randomly, and I didn't even know this weapon was in Symphony of the Night at the time that I played this game. I found out later when I was like, holy shit, this weapon is like cracked. But yeah, game is very fun. Cannot recommend it enough. If it gets a patch, without a patch, get it somewhere else that is not the Switch. But you know, if you only have a Switch, the patch is perfect. And the next game we're going to be talking about is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This game is a JRPG, and it was my second favorite JRPG until Expedition 33 came along. Then, you know, Expedition 33 dethroned it. But this game still has perhaps my favorite main character in any JRPG ever. The name of the character is Yuri Lowell, and this guy is basically Batman. If Batman did not give a crap and just were to just kill people. This JRPG, I got it on the Switch in 2019, I believe, because I prefer to play my RPGs portably, so that, you know, I could play them whenever I want, before bed, you know, whatever. I'm doing something, I'm outside, I'm on a plane, I get to play my games, right? I play this game so much, like I beat the game, and then I went and beat it again in the hardest difficulty. Like, I was crazy. Look, I have 220 hours on this game. And yeah, last I played it was 2019. This game has a fantastic story with twists and turns that I was not expecting. It has some cool, lovable characters, except for one that I don't like very much. Your partner, right? Like your first party member is your dog. His name is Repeat. And boy, this is like the coolest dog in gaming to me. I'm sorry, Torgal. You're like the second best boy. But this dog, he has like a pipe in his mouth, right? And you know, when he's not using the pipe, when he's about to fight, he puts the pipe away and he grabs the sword. And you know, I have like different outfits in the characters because I'm on the second playthrough. Like the first playthrough I do vanilla, then I go for outfits and stuff. It's like a thing that I have, a pet peeve of mine, if you can call it that. But yeah, we're gonna check out Repeat here, the best boy, because you gotta see how cool this dog is. And I'm just trying to figure out where to go for the outfits. Okay, here we are. Look at his portrait. Super nice. And this is the outfit that I have on him. But I'm gonna put the standard outfit real quick so you guys can see how it looks, right? It looks basically the same without minus all the accessories and stuff. But you can see it right here that, you know, he's just holding his pipe here because he's just that cool. And at the beginning of the game, mild spoiler, you know, like Yuri Lowell gets taken to jail and like best boy helps you out and all of that. This game is weird because it works at 60 FPS in the cities. But when you're here in the world map, the performance drops to 30. I don't know why. As far as the combat goes, I don't remember how to play this game, but the combat, the ability, the skill ceiling, sorry, if I could speak, is super high. It's easy to pick up, but very hard to master. I'm not gonna do it justice, but there's this character, right, that I'm gonna show you guys. Her name is Judith, and if you look up like combos like online of people playing Judith like manually, yo, people go crazy. They won't even touch the ground. They'll do some insane stuff with this chick. So if you're into that, right, you can just try to master Judith. On the other hand, sorry, Yuri is very easy to pick up, but you know, he also has like a high skill ceiling, but it's very easy to use. Judith, if you try to use her manually, sorry, you're gonna get your ass beat if you don't know what you're doing. So, you know, there's that. If you're into that type of stuff, more technical stuff, you know, you have that. But that is it for this game. I cannot recommend it enough. If you like RPGs, JRPGs, this is like the one to play. Like, this shit is amazing, I'm telling you. So, let's check out the next game, shall we? And the next game is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. And this game is a love letter to Monster Hunter fans. For those of you who have only played Worlds and Wilds and Rise, you know, this game might be a little bit hard to get into, right? Because it got the old style way of hunting in Monster Hunter. This was not my first game. I started in Worlds and then I came to Generations Ultimate looking for more. And I fell in love with this game. I really did. It was a little bit difficult at first, but I didn't play this game that much, you know. I think I only have like over 400 something hours in this game. So, you know, I just dabble lightly. I mean, well, almost 500 as you can see. That might sound like a lot, but for this game standards, that's actually pretty little. This game has so much content. I'm telling you, so much content that you can spend 3,000-4,000 hours and not finish it all. When this game released, it released on the 3DS, and I believe it was the non-ultimate version, so it didn't include G rank or master rank as we call it now. And at that time, I guess, since I think it was still compatible with the 3DS, I can understand why they decided to go for 30 FPS, because I believe the original Switch could handle this at 60 FPS. This might not be entirely Nintendo's fault, though. This might be more Capcom. And, you know, Capcom being the geniuses that they are, check this out. I am going to eat this meal and you're going to see what is going to happen. I need you to listen to this because, you know, Capcom knows their audience and they know what their audience wants. So, you know, they give it to us. Just listen to this. We're drunk, basically. So she's just doing that sound, let's call it, because she's drunk. And Capcom is like, oops, that's exactly how a drunk person sounds. You see, she just stumbles and falls. This game is full of charm, for lack of a better word, in different ways, not just like this. They got a bunch of other quirks that they got lost in the more modern Monster Hunter, sorry. But yeah, this game is a ton of fun, has a ton of content. The Switch 1 could run it at 60 FPS, as I was saying. And now that we have the Switch 2, it is the perfect excuse for Capcom to, you know, just do the patch. I get it. This game is not selling, I think, as much anymore. And they have to, like, pay for certification and all this and that to put a patch out. And, you know, they are focusing on Wilds now. So we don't know if this is ever going to come. But I have played this game on the PC, on the emulator, with a 60 FPS patch. And it's so much better. And for a game that has so much content, right? And still, like, we have an active player base, believe it or not. You can still find lobbies and stuff. Such like unique ways, if I could speak, unique ways to play. Like we have the 14 weapons, right? And every weapon here have styles. They're called hunting styles. The one I'm using now is called Valor, right? So basically you get to like do a Valor sheet, what I just did right there to dash Mr. Tune's roar. And there's a style, right? They're like different. I forgot how many styles there are, but it's many. And when you're playing a weapon with one style, you could play the weapon for 1,000 hours, change the style, and then you'll feel like a total noob. And they're really cool styles, right? Like this one called Adept, where like you get the Adept roll, where like you evade everything. You could just roll evade through everything, even with your weapon out, and you get like something out of the roll, and it makes it like easier to dodge attacks too. But yeah, this is not a video about the style, so I'm gonna stop talking about them, plus I don't know them all. But yeah, this game is fantastic. If you're a fan of Monster Hunter and you already played through Wilds, Rise, Worlds, and you're looking for more, this is the game for you, right? It's gonna have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, you're gonna have so much freaking fun. There's a counter that my weapon has, the style that I'm using, and of course I want to look like a professional gamer, so I am going to put it here with the magic of editing so it happens at the correct time or something like that. And then we're gonna jump to the next game, which, you know, is another Monster Hunter game. Oh, that counter is so satisfying. I was trying to act surprised, right? But you know, I'm not good at acting, but the sound is very satisfying. The counter feels very satisfying. And that's why I love playing this style with the longsword. But let's go to the next game, shall we? And the next game is Pokemon. I'm just kidding. It's Monster Hunter Rise. And this one is a really puzzling one because I don't know why this one doesn't have like a patch. Like, I mean, I know it's not a recent game. You know, we have Wilds. But it's still like they're newer, at least in the portable side. And this game is perhaps the best Monster Hunter game in a portable console for a lot of people, right? Because some people cannot get used to the old style of playing Monster Hunter. But, you know, if you go to the subreddit for Generations Ultimate, you'll find people that they have tried GU and once they get used to it, they cannot get enough, right? And then they just think this is the best Monster Hunter game ever made. But anyways, I'm not going to be talking about GU. This is about Rise. So this game, again, it's another Monster Hunter game. There's not much to say. It's a fantastic game. Every Monster Hunter game that I have played is incredible. Granted, I've only played GU, Rise, World, and WoW. So, you know, there might be a bad one there, but I don't know. I haven't heard nobody complaining. One of the things that I like about this game is that you have the Palamute, or the dog. And to be honest with you guys, I prefer the dog over the freaking bird in WoWs. The bird feels clunky. It feels like it takes too much to respond. It's not as fast, and it bothers me when you come from like Monster Hunter Rise. So I much prefer the dog. All I am going to do here is play through a hunt in case you don't know the game, in case you don't know what you can do in Monster Hunter Rise, so you could like see some of it. I am asked, right, because the one that I've been playing actively is WoWs now, and every Monster Hunter game feels a little bit different to play, right? Like you need like 2-3 hunts to get used to it. The cool thing about Rise is that you have verticality, right? You have your wire buck that you saw me use in town, which allows you to like jump upwards, right? And also to like quick get up when you're in a hunt, although I forgot how to do it. And here you can like wall climb, and you can just run up a wall in a vertical fashion. And yeah, like the added verticality makes the game a ton of fun. The hunts, right, they happen pretty quickly. The online system that they have is probably one of their best ones, if not the best, right? Like it's like more arcadey. You get into the hunt so quickly, so you don't need to like go into like a lobby per se. You just post a quest and people join you immediately. So yeah, this game, ton of fun. That's all I had to say for this game, right? Because it's Monster Hunter. You guys know you should get it, and if you don't have it and you only have a Switch, you just get this game. We need a patch, Capcom, please. And I'm just gonna let the rest of the hunt play out, right? There's gonna be some cuts because I'm gonna be assing, but yeah, I'm gonna let the rest of the hunt play out, and you know, that's it for the video. That's all I had to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, right? And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.